Hey, this is Paul with BuyTruckWheels.com. Got a new item here we want to talk about. It's a new addition to our product lineup, so we figured we'd throw it on the truck, test them out, and give you guys the rundown. So traditionally, we've always sold 17-inch 19.5s for those guys wanting a commercial grade tire, and then we jump up straight from there to 22s, 22.5s, 24s with adapters. But what we've got here today is a 20-inch, okay, direct bolt-on, so no adapters. It's a 20 by 8 1/4 for the dually patterns. This is going to be for your 8-on-200 Ford and Dodge patterns, your 8-on-6 1/2 older Ram and Chevy patterns, and your 8-on-210s for the new Chevy and GM dualies. So if you're wanting a 20-inch, then this is a great option for you. I'll go through some of the pros, some of the cons, and you guys can make the best decision for your truck and situation. So forgive the look of the truck. Normally like to have it nice and cleaned up, but I put these wheels on about 2 weeks ago. We'll show you pics with they're all brand new, shiny, but it's been real rainy, crappy, cold here in Ohio the past week or so, and we finally got a little sunshine, so we ran out going to do this video, so didn't have time to wash the truck up, so forgive me. The wheels still look good, but they are a little dirty, a little muddy. It's been not great here in Ohio, but so forgive that, but everything else still all true and functional. So the 20-inch, the upside to the 20-inch is you get a truck tire. So it's not going to be a super heavy, stiff commercial tire. It's going to be a light truck tire. I went with the Cooper. It's a rugged Trek, and the size I went with is a 285 65 R20. Now, this is about 34, I think it's 34.6 total diameter. So there might be some trucks. I have a leveling kit on this particular truck, so I do have a little more room in the front. And as you can tell, this wheel and tire really fills out the wheel well, which I do love about the look of it. Not all trucks may have the size or may have the wheel well if you don't have a level kit for this big of a tire, but there's other options. This is more of a mud, an aggressive all-terrain tire. It actually, like I said, I've been driving this, and I've driven this vehicle only for the last 2 weeks just to really get a feel for the tires, and I love them, and I have got no complaints, other than obviously if you're in a gravel drive parking lot, they do pick up some stones, but with any type of mud tire you're gonna have that. But in terms of road noise, they're not loud, handle well. I've got nothing but good things to say about this particular tire, but there's a lot of tire options out there. A 20-inch, you're probably going to want to go with a 10-ply on your dually to get that capacity, but a lot of 20-inch tire options out there. Now onto the wheels. So this is an Ion 20 by 8.25. Right off the bat, something different about this wheel than a lot of the other wheels we sell is this is a cast aluminum wheel. It's not going to be as strong, as a forged wheel, but it is going to be made to the spec for your truck. So I will say off the bat, that's one of the downsides to this, is you're not going to get the capacity. These all have a 3,000 pound load capacity per wheel and tire, which is going to match most of your stock 17-inch wheels. The tire is going to be rated actually higher than that, but the wheel itself is rated at 3,000 pounds. So if you are wanting something where you think you might be overloading, or you're always pulling heavy, or working the truck, this may not be the option for you, even though it is rated for the same as your stock 17. So I've obviously had no issues, but I've only had them on there 2 weeks, so I can't give you a real great recommendation on the strength of these. But if you are somebody that's going to be running heavy all the time, this may not be the setup for you. Maybe more towards a 19.5. But in terms of If you're using the truck like the truck spec'd out, because even 3,000 per wheel and tire is 18,000 pounds. Your GVW on the dually is probably 13 to 14,000 pounds anyway. So you are technically over your spec capacity, but I know some guys do run heavy, and that's a concern. So that would be really my number one concern with this setup. But with the cast wheel, it is going to be a little cheaper than the forged aluminum. And generally, a cast aluminum wheel won't take a polish as good of a as good as a forged wheel. But as you can tell, even like I said, these are dirty. They still shine. We'll show you the pictures when we first put them on the truck a couple weeks ago, right out of the box. We'll show the unboxing video. They are a really shiny wheel. Something a little different about this setup is it's not a traditional offset. So the front wheel, normally all 6 wheels on a dually are reversible, and you would just take your, you can move them in any position. These have a separate inner, outer dual, and front wheel. So as you can see on the front wheel, the face does dome out a little bit, but not as much as a traditional, dually look. So this is the reason for that, is it pulls the wheel and tire, since it is a wider wheel and tire setup, it pulls it away from the inside to give you, a little more turning clearance. But I think it gives it a nice look. It, kind of evens it up with your outer wheel well, and just gives a little wider stance. So it is a little different in terms of how normally the dual wheels are set up, but I've seen no issue with that. Moving to the backs, you're going to see the dish on the back is really deep. So that again is because the rear wheel actually has more offset than a traditional dual wheel would, so it gives it a much deeper dish. And the inner wheel is kind of similar to the front, that it has less offset, but again, that's to pull it away from your frame because it is a wider wheel and tire, to give you more clearance for that wider wheel and tire on the inside. You can see since it's an 8 1/4 setup, it is going to sit outside your fender flare a little bit. Not super wide. There's obviously wider setups you can get, but it is going to stick out a little bit. Now the nice thing about this 20-inch, I've gone obviously with a pretty high sidewall. Usually the higher the sidewall, the more load capacity you get. But if you're wanting to possibly lower your truck a little bit, you could get a more of a street tire, something a little lower profile. So your tire options on these 20-inch, you got a big array. So overall, I'm really happy with these. We've got a set of some black fuel wheels we're gonna demo here in a couple weeks, again in a 20-inch. So again, the cast wheel, maybe not as strong, maybe doesn't polish up as well, but your price point is a lot better, and you get a lot more design options. A lot of the black wheels are going to come in that cast, so really just depends on what you're looking for. Again, this 20-inch is a totally new item for our lineup, and so far I'm really impressed with it. I wouldn't be afraid to keep these, on my truck going forward.
Would you consider this a good daily driver size?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of guys, when you see the 17-inch, stock wheels and tires on a dually, a lot of guys think they look too small. Doesn't fill up the wheel well. So if you're wanting to, upgrade from that 17-inch, but you just drive it as a daily driver truck, you're not wanting to.
You haul sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, if you got a dually, you're probably hauling sometimes, but you're not. That's not the majority of work truck situation. 20-inch is a great option for that. Plus, the wheels and tires aren't going to break the bank. They're going to be, in that affordable range.
And that size is usually available at any tire shop.
Yeah. You're not, when you go to 19.5s or 22.5s, you're now dealing usually with a commercial tire shop. The selection is less, cost is more, but with these 20-inch, any discount tire, Mr. Tire, doesn't matter. You name your local tire shop is going to have a ton of options in a 20-inch. So, yeah, I'm really happy with this. We, for a long time, like I said, have only sold forged heavy-duty wheels, and I'm really happy with these. So stick around if you want to check out the unboxing of the wheels. You can see them right out of the box, brand new. Mounting. We show you how we balance them. What we do is we do a balance bag on the outer dual. So it's a weighted bag on the inside that breaks apart and dynamically balances as you drive, so you don't see any weights on the outside. And then your inner dual and your steer, we spin balance on our Hunter balancing machine with weights on the inside. You can use bags all the way around, but we think you get a little better balance with the weights. Yeah, so we'll show you the balancing, and we'll show you the TPMS. Ford is kind of a tricky TPMS, but we'll show you that setup as well, and we'll actually put that as a separate video, because a ton of the videos you see out there are just a relearn the position of the TPMS for the Ford. We're going to show you actually how to relearn new TPMS sensors. So stick around for that video. Coming up next, we're going to put on the truck are some new 22-inch North Stars with adapters, and we're going to debut our new billet caps and lug nut covers. So,
are we going to do the oval hole or round hole?
Haven't decided yet. I'm trying to decide what I want to put on here. I think I want to do some oval holes. I've not done those before. Some of the Pete style wheels. So look forward to that here in the next couple weeks. So yeah, email us, call us. We try our best with. We're not a custom shop, so we may not have all your answers in terms of right, how it's going to look on your particular truck, but we try to post as many customer pictures as we can, different setups. So we're here to answer as many questions as we can and help you get the right set of wheels for your truck. So BuyTruckWheels.com. Let us know if you have any questions. Okay, so we've got our Cooper Road Trek, Rugged Trek 265 65 R20. Now you're going to see on the front of this 20-inch Ion, not a lot of offset, but the rear wheel for the duals is a different offset. So on the front, it pulls it out a little bit, gives you a little more of a single look. Gives you more clearance on the inside. But we've got it mounted up on our balance machine here, and we're going to go ahead and turn it on our weight balance here. We don't do the clamp-ons. We do the weight on the inside. Close our hood and we are off and running. So that's spinning that. It's going to do the road force match to make sure we've got our high and our low point matched up the best we can. The tire manufacturers mark the tires, but that's not always 100% accurate. So as you can see, our force match, that's actually really good. I mean, on commercial trucks, these tolerances are a lot higher, but we're within 1/100th of an inch, so that's really good on the roundness. That's what that measures, the roundness of the whole assembly, and we only need 1.75 ounces of weight. So our machine is going to give us the line. And Garrett will go ahead and get our quarter weight ounces, 7 of those bad boys. We try to match up color as best we can. Aluminum wheels, we try to put on a gray. Black steel, we'll put on black weights. Center that up. Right on that center red line. We're going to close our hood. It's going to spin it again. It's not going to do the road force match test this time, just the balance test. Okay, and we got an okay. So we got our 1/100th of an inch center. That's our roundness check, and then our balance is good to go. So this setup's ready to go on the truck.